Hello, hello. Hi, gang. Do not allow yourself to be distracted by my surroundings. If I told you, yeah, I know that's a crazy image, isn't it? If I told you I'm not in Philadelphia, in what city might you find me based on the backdrop of my hotel? Would you guess Las Vegas? You would be correct if you guessed Las Vegas because, as I am eager to tell you on Tuesday, upon my return to radio, I saw the Eagles, the other Eagles, not the Philadelphia Eagles. I saw the Eagles in the Sphere. I cannot wait to share what it's like to have that experience. If you have the opportunity, you must go. You must go. I'll talk about it on Tuesday. First of all, you Michiganders, the Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app, they've got a brand new look. Join me right now. Check out the all new Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app with lots of new hot online slots and all your favorite casino games. It's easier than ever to get in on the action. Plus, you can get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Play Gun Lake, the only app that I ever use and recommend. Get some skin in the game and bet sports or play blackjack. Play craps, play poker, play roulette, or hot online slots while watching the game. You don't need to come to Vegas. You can use your phone if you're in Michigan. Make your downtime fun time. Double down with a live dealer right now on your phone. When you play Gun Lake, you play for the love of the game. Winning is always a rush, but the money is in the moment. The anticipation of a face card, the thrill of an extra spin, the pure enjoyment of a jackpot. And right now you can download the app and enjoy all the action and excitement just like the casino floor right at your fingertips. New users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. Your casino bonus has to be wagered. PlayGunLake.com has all the details. Play for the glory, play for the money. Play Gun Lake Casino. You've got to be 21 and in Michigan for playing the Play Gun Lake online casino and sportsbook app. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Okay, Saturday poll result. Are you ready for this? 55,556 votes were cast. Should a president have the authority to dismiss prosecutions if they believe it serves a greater national interest? 87.75% said no. 12.25% said yes. This is no hypothetical. This relates to the situation with DOJ, the exodus from the DOJ, given President Trump's instruction, we presume that it's coming from the top, that he wants Eric Adams, the case against Eric Adams, the New York City mayor, dismissed in return for Adams' cooperation and partnership in dealing with border issues that the Trump initiative, that the Trump administration once carried out. Such was the voting on Saturday that I'm going back to the well on this subject for the Monday President's Day poll question and asking, is the Eric Adams DOJ controversy a speed bump for President Trump, or is it a burgeoning scandal? You know perhaps the players by now. Let's see. You've got Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida, who is now the Attorney General of the United States. You've got Emil Bove III, Emil Bove, who is a former criminal defense attorney for President Trump. You have Daniel Sassoon, who was the interim U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, who resigned and would not sign a motion to dismiss that Bove asked her to sign, seemingly with the approval of Pam Bondi, to dismiss the case against Eric Adams. And then you've got a guy named Hagen Scotton, who was the lead prosecutor of Eric Adams, who similarly resigned. I think the number of DOJ resignations is now up to 7. Hagen Scotton, like Danielle Sassoon, wouldn't sign the motion to dismiss so that the case against Eric Adams would go away. And so in the end, on Friday, Emil Bove and 2 colleagues ended up signing it himself. It would normally be sort of a matter of course that a recommendation from the prosecutors to the court that a case be dismissed without prejudice, and I'll come back to that, would be accepted by the court. But nothing in this case has been by the book. Nothing in this case has been normal. And so now it goes to a judge, Judge Dale Ho, who is the federal judge overseeing the criminal prosecution of Eric Adams. My head is spinning. Are your eyes glazing over? And not because of my backdrop? Now it goes to the federal judge to see, will he sign off on it or will he want a hearing? And I have to say, for me, it's reminiscent of the federal judge in Delaware who, when presented with a plea agreement relative to Hunter Biden, said, wait a minute, I have questions. I'm not going to rubber stamp this. And that threw into complete turmoil the prosecution of Hunter Biden. We may see that again in this case. So I am asking you, among the many speed bumps that have marked the first month of the Trump administration, is this another of them, or does this have legs? Is this the first burgeoning scandal of the Trump administration? And although I'm not prepared to put it today in the category of Watergate, on the poll question, which asks, is it a speed bump or is it a burgeoning scandal? I'm going with scandal. And one of the reasons that I'm going with scandal is that, well, it's not going away and Trump is his own worst enemy. And it's not just criticism from the left of what has just taken place here, which is akin, if you remember, to the Saturday Night Massacre in the Nixon years. But the reason that I'm seeing a sign of this really growing and being a focal point of the left and right, at least some on the right, is Andrew McCarthy. Andrew McCarthy is an attorney, gets a lot of face time on Fox, and he wrote a piece, we'll have it in the newsletter today, for National Review, where he weighed in on this. Let me give you the Mediaite summary. Andy McCarthy, a conservative legal analyst who serves as a Fox News contributor, denounced President Donald Trump and his new Attorney General Pam Bondi for weaponizing the Department of Justice. In a scathing column for the right-leaning National Review on Sunday, McCarthy denounced the Weaponization Working Group established by Bondi. McCarthy believes that group practices the very weaponization it is supposedly trying to root out. And here's what McCarthy wrote in National Review. Under the guise of restoring the integrity and credibility of the Department of Justice, the AG is implementing the Biden DOJ model of conviction first and trial later, if ever. Standing convicted are Trump's principal prosecutorial nemesis, Biden DOJ Special Counsel Jack Smith, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, New York Attorney General Letitia James, and therefore guilty by association, any DOJ and FBI personnel who aided and abetted them. In what crimes, we're not told, only that Bondi will be providing quarterly reports to the White House regarding the progress of the review. McCarthy argues that Biden's DOJ was politicized, but that Trump also engaged in serious misconduct. And relative to Bondi, he says, if she's just going to spout Trump's grievances without putting the Justice Department's response to egregious behavior in context, she's engaging in partisan law enforcement, exactly the noxious practice she claims to be rooting out. I tie this together with the Eric Adams DOJ case because Emil Bove, I know it's a lot to comprehend, has said that he will now launch investigations relative to Danielle Sassoon and Hagen Scotton, both refusing to go along with the dismissal of the case against Eric Adams and anyone else associated with that investigation who wouldn't do likewise. And here's the deal, and I said this on CNN on Saturday. When you talk about Danielle Sassoon, you're talking about someone who's a Federalist Society member. That's a conservative gathering of lawyers who, in her case, also clerked for Justice Antonin Scalia. Okay, so she's no left-winger, she's no progressive. And Hagen Scotton served 3 combat tours in Iraq for special forces, was recognized for his bravery and intrepidity. And in his case, Hagen Scotton's case, he worked for now Justice, he clerked for now Justice Brett Kavanaugh before Kavanaugh got to the Supreme Court and was a judge, but not yet a justice. And he also clerked for Chief Justice John Roberts. So these individuals are not part of some left-wing cabal within DOJ seeking to thwart the initiatives of Donald Trump because of politics. I am one who believes that to a certain extent, there was lawfare used against Trump in the buildup to the campaign. And at the top of my list is the case brought by Alvin Bragg in New York. The January 6th case I thought was legitimate, but it was poisoned in the eyes of the public because of the perception of the prosecution of the hush money payment case. Now Trump is doing worse. Now Trump is doing worse. He is using DOJ as his plaything and appears to be taking no lesson away from the way this has been received in the last couple of days. Trump on Truth Social over the weekend, quote, "He who saves his country does not violate any law." He who saves his country does not violate any law. He's answering the Saturday poll question at smerconish.com. Should a president have the authority to dismiss prosecutions if they believe it serves a greater national interest? Honestly, I believe that his Truth Social posting was in part precipitated by the way I framed that poll question. I know you might think, Michael, you've got a big opinion of yourself that the president is responding to your poll question, but the way that he worded it, he who saves his country does not violate any law. He can't be held accountable for violating any law if he's got a bigger objective of saving his country, he says. That doesn't wash with me. I think this is a big deal. I think this transcends so much of what has been leveled against him by political opponents thus far. This is bigger than any of that. And I don't think it's going away anytime soon. So that's why I'm asking today whether you think this is all just a speed bump or whether it's a burgeoning scandal. I don't know how many more people are going to resign in response to the whole Eric Adams case. And something else that I think is very telling. The Amo Bove signed motion to dismiss the case against Eric Adams is without prejudice. And I know to non-legal observers, that won't mean much. But what it means without prejudice is the case could be reinitiated. See, if you're wondering, and I was wondering, why didn't Trump just pardon Eric Adams? It would have been so much cleaner. It might have been controversial, but it wouldn't be perceived as such a blatant quid pro quo for saying we'll dismiss the case against you, but only if you cooperate with our initiatives relative to border and migration. When that motion says without prejudice, that means the prosecution can be brought back at any time. If it had been a request with prejudice, it would mean that he's off the hook. They're not letting him off the hook is my point. They're not letting Eric Adams off the hook. They're reserving the right because they want to wield that stick over him to bring back the prosecution. And I think that's very telling. And one more thing that I'll say about this. I was on radio on Friday, and I looked up at the television monitors that we have in the studio that show me MSNBC, CNN, and Fox. And I took note of the fact, and I commented on radio, there sat Tom Homan, the border czar, and Eric Adams on the Fox morning show, so-called Comfy Couch, doing a joint appearance. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I knew this was big. The fact that they'd be sitting there together. And then later, when I actually got to hear the clip, it was Homan, the border czar, saying that if Eric Adams doesn't continue to cooperate, he'll come back and quote unquote be up his butt. It's a quid pro quo. They're not masking it in any way. Is it criminality? Is it conduct that's illegal? Nothing I can see, but it's not good. It smells bad. It's improper. And I think it's unethical. The problem is, and here's what mitigates against me saying that it's a burgeoning scandal, is it's complicated stuff, right? I mean, it's just probably taken me 10 or 15 minutes to explain what it's all about. So unless there's a soundbite version of it that can pierce, the public's consciousness, then maybe it's not a big deal. But I think it is a big deal. Go vote at smerconish.com. Speed bump or burgeoning scandal. Please make sure that you're liking and subscribing, and that you are setting yourself up for notifications so that whenever I'm on YouTube, you can hear. Okay? All right. Now you want to see what? The rest of this behind me? Let me see if I can. I know it's Vegas. It's just crazy. Don't worry. She's clothed in part. she is clothed in part. What can I tell you? What happens in Vegas, well, you know the rest of it. All right, gang, go vote at Smerconish.com on this Monday. Thank you.